AJ is the founder and CEO of Creator Match. He'll give his introduction there. But AJ is going to be talking about building visibility, building in public. And I think there's going to be a lot of great things to take notes on. So make sure you're writing it down. And again, please remain quiet. AJ is a guest here. Let's treat him well. And let's give him a huge, loud Creator Economy NYC welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You can use this to click.
Amazing. How are we doing, guys? We good? Who needs another beer? Another drink? We good? All right, who's visiting from New York? I'm couch surfing right now. I'm in Hudson Yards tonight. Anyone visiting from New York, or am I the only one who doesn't live here? Okay, amazing, guys. Well, today we're gonna talk about building in public, and it is something so near and dear to my heart, and if anybody who knows me, they're like, I get it. You're the founder. I get what you do. All you do is talk about what you do. That's why I'm doing it. That's why everyone here should be doing it, because if you're not screaming from the rooftops what you're doing, if you are not patting yourself on the back, nobody's going to. For the next 15 minutes, guys, strap in. We're here for a ride. And here's a little cringy picture of me on stage at another conference. You can see not the best lighting, not the best filter, and we're gonna document over creating. So the lie that you've been told, the lie that everybody feels is, I don't have enough time. Who feels like they don't have enough time to create content? Right, come on, everybody's hand should be up, guys. Who else is a founder? Founders? Okay, we are some of the busiest people in the world. Who creates outside their 9-to-5 job? Okay, amazing. We're busy. We don't have time to rent a studio, to brainstorm for 5 hours and document and script and do all these different things. You have to build content as you go. And the biggest lie that you're gonna tell yourself is, oh, it's cringe. I don't have time to create content. I don't know what to say. Or maybe I'm gonna wait till I launch, right? Wouldn't that make sense? I'm gonna wait till I launch and become successful and then talk about what I'm doing. But it's too late. People wanna see the journey, and we're gonna talk about the journey over the next 15 minutes. So here's, again, I post a lot of selfies, I'll be honest with you. They also do a little bit better in terms of performance on LinkedIn, but the selfies are the rawness, they're real, the authentic. You can't get selfies like this on Gemini or ChatGPT. It is raw. It is part of the moment, part of the journey. This is literally a roundtable that I did in Amsterdam. We were talking about our favorite topic, LinkedIn, obviously, and how I create content. As I don't create content, I actually don't consider myself a creator. I'm a founder that creates content. So all of the content that I make is about the journey of being a founder. And instead of waiting to tell a good story, the story is the content, right? And the funny thing here for Brett's, CENYC event is the content that performs the best is not the high production, like posting this video on social. It is the behind the scenes, setting this up, talking about the story, talking about couch surfing, talking about, I quit my 9-to-5 corporate job, making $136,000 to make $0. And to try to make it work, right? And that is what converts. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today. And you can see here that building in public is not content creation. All you wanna be doing is documenting the journey. So who am I? My name is AJ Eckstein. I'm the founder and CEO of Creator Match. We build and scale creator programs for the largest tech brands in the world, like Teachable, shout out Teachable who's here, Claude, Notion, HubSpot, Framer, and probably every tech brand that you've heard of. And why it's so bittersweet, I came to my first event. I don't know, Brett, how long ago that was, maybe last year. It was at this room, and I was in the crowd. And I was by myself, and I remember talking to some people in the back saying, you know what, I have this crazy idea. Creator Match originally was a LinkedIn creator marketing agency. I'm like, you know what, maybe LinkedIn creators actually have some value. And I remember certain people here talking about that vision. It was just myself, and I quit my corporate job. Fast forward a year and a half, we have 3 employees here right now. Shout out Trish, Jerica, and Maddie. If you guys want to raise your hand, right? And kind of similar to what Brett was talking about, you gotta live in the moment, you gotta live in the future, and you gotta document the entire journey. And I didn't talk about now how we are getting to become a successful agency. It was throughout the entire journey, right? So this is a bit about myself, and also we've spent $0 on ads, $0 on marketing, and why you should care, right? Obviously that's expensive to spend money on marketing, but all of our success has been from building in public. Think about that. Instead of reaching out and saying, hey, Brett, I wanna speak at your next conference, right? I think you reach out to me. And it's all inbound because you see me posting about speaking. You see me post the selfies. You see me in the moment, the most stressful times, when you have anxiety, when you don't sleep. I hate talking about the wins, right? Because they're not relatable. I wanna talk about the losses. I wanna talk about the failures. I wanna talk about the moments that were so painful, the moments that you all feel, right? We're all relatable people here, right? And that's what converts on social as well. So there's 2 side-by-side pictures here. There's 2 mindsets when you think about documenting and creating content. Feel free, I see some photos, take some photos. There's the studio mindset on the left. There's the filmer mindset on the right. So what do you notice, right? So funny enough, on the left side here, if you guys use Gusto for payroll, that is the Gusto co-founder that I'm interviewing. But it was perfect lighting, perfect sound. It was a scripted interview. It was highly produced. If anybody's seen any content, especially on TikTok, if it's too high production, what happens? It doesn't perform. It feels like an ad. It feels inauthentic. The right side here, what do you notice? Outside the fact that I need to hit legs at the gym, right? Please don't say anything, okay? I was on the floor in a hotel room. I think all of us, at times, you're so locked into work, you forget to eat, maybe forget to shower, and you're just locked in your computer, and 10 hours later, you're still working. But I'm on the floor, I'm in socks, and a long sleeve shirt, I'm in some smelly hotel room, in some smelly location, and it's raw and relatable, and it crushed on social. Why? Because we've all been there, right? Hands up, who's been on the floor working before? Okay, amazing, right? So you can imagine also on the right side, or the left side here, there's only so many highly produced pieces of content you can make. On the right side here, how many moments do we have where we're not at our best? Probably a lot more than left, right? And this is the winning ticket, the filmer mindset. So instead of thinking I need to go rent the most perfect studio, if I want to launch a podcast, I need the best lighting, the best audio, the best camera guy, everything. No. The right side is how you have to think. Think of Gary Vee in the early days when there was a guy following him around with a camera, right? That is how you convert. That is how you build in public. And whether it's yourself doing selfies, or whether it's someone following you around, the behind of what you're doing is really what converts today, especially in 2026. So a huge thing that I think about is it's never about the person who's the most qualified that gets that opportunity. Think about that. Visibility is substantially more important than ability. And it sucks when you guys are more qualified to get an opportunity like a speaking gig, a job. Maybe you want to get that brand deal, right? You're working with Creator Match, you want to get that brand deal. But we don't look for creators who are the best. What creators are the most visible? So if you want to go speak and you don't talk about speaking, how am I going to find you, right? There's only so much sourcing that we can do. But if you're the most visible person, right, and you have familiarity, like I get it. All you do is talk about this thing, right? The best way to think about it is there's nails on a board. Every time you create content, you're hitting a nail. The goal is to get the nail as far down into the board as possible. And then you're like, I get it. You're the guy with the green beanie who talks about, what do you talk about? What is it? Fitness. Okay. Next time I see you, I'm like, okay, dude, like I got to hit legs. I get it. Okay. Chill, okay? So, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Just wait for your turn, okay? So you have to build familiarity. You almost have to be annoying to the point where it's like, dude, I get it. You post about fitness. But guess what? I have a brand deal from Gymshark. Who am I going to think of? You and the green beanie, right? Okay. So now you get, okay, visibility is more important than ability. What the hell do I document? These are some awesome buckets that you can think of: decisions, problems, progress, metrics, questions. How I actually create content is I have a several 100-page document. I literally journal every single week. It's called my founder journal. And every week I just think about what the hell happened that week, right? And it could be speaking on stage. It could be, and I know you guys probably think I'm the best speaker in the world. 10 minutes before this, I was freaking out, right? I was pacing downstairs, practicing my stuff. I'm like, what am I gonna be talking about, right? Do I even deserve to be up here? I'm gonna document it. I'm gonna have that, so I'm gonna bring a selfie at the end, don't you wait. And that is content, right? Nobody wants to see just you getting to the finish line. What about all the prep work it was to run the marathon, right? Like think about the months and months you need to take to prepare for a marathon. But nobody wants to see you just, oh, he ran it and he ran a great time, right? So here are some great things of what to document. And people always ask how I come up with my ideas. As long as you really think through everything that's happening in your day, that is the content. So I'll give you a couple examples. I'm on calls every day with brands and creators. The amount of content that they share on calls is content. So let's say I'm on a call with Notion, and we're talking about what's a good CPM for a LinkedIn creator campaign. And then I'm on a call with Anthropic, they say the same thing. I'm on a call with Teachable, they say the same thing. There's a great post talking about how I'm hearing all these brands ask about CPM, performance, there's content. Let's say that in my DMs, right? My DMs are crazy. Brett's always sending me some crazy memes on Instagram, right? No, same with Leon, crazy. However, let's say they're all asking me, I want brand deals. How do you choose creators? What do you look for? How many followers do I need? There's content, right? So everyone here has different domains, different jobs. That is the content. Instead of thinking through sitting at a desk for 5 hours on a Sunday and asking yourself, what should I create? You're documenting what people are asking you, what they're telling you. Maybe you're at the gym, right? And people keep coming up to you and saying, man, how are you doing so many push-ups? There's content right there. You're documenting it, okay? So we spoke about what you should document. What should you not document? So 3 things, starting with highlights only. If you really think through the people that you follow, people love following underdog stories, right? Think about that. Like the people that you really, like think about Brett, I'm gonna keep using you as an example. I followed him since day 1, and he's still cringe, so am I, right? But like day 1, there was nobody here. And look at how many amazing people there are now, right? But he didn't post, I have 200 people in my room on the first post. It was, I have 5 people, and then 10, and then 20. And then people come up to you and say, AJ, I remember it was just you, and then it's 5, it's 10, and now you have 3 employees here, and 30 plus people. It's insane. They want to follow on the journey. We all love DJ Khaled and his music, but you should not only be talking about all you do is win. Even if you are only winning, I guarantee you, thank you for the joke. I should have said that again. You really want to think through and talking about the failures, right? And also, in my content format throughout the week, if I'm talking about too many wins, there's a problem, because what about all the missteps that we have as creators, as founders? The next one here is too late. So I'll give the marathon example again. If you're running a marathon, you don't want to just post the picture of you in the medal at the finish line saying, oh my God, it was the best. Why? Because there was so much buildup leading up to that journey. The last one here, trying to sound smart, especially on LinkedIn. How many people post on LinkedIn? Okay, I mean, almost entire room, right? The biggest thing is you want to lose the tie. Why? Because it rises above the AI slop, right? Because ChatGPT, Claude, they're not funny. They're not funny like us, right? And they don't have your authentic humor and personality. And these are the 3 things that when you're documenting, don't only talk about wins, don't wait until it's perfect, and definitely don't try to sound too smart and be yourself. So this next thing here is called the rubber band effect. And I think the best way to encapsulate this entire presentation is with a rubber band. And I realized I probably should have brought a rubber band. Does anybody have a rubber band? Okay, thank you. Oh my God, perfect. You know what's funny? I actually gave you a different rubber band. Okay, fantastic. So there's a rubber band. Stay with me for a second. Okay, it's a rubber band, okay? Also watch your eyes because it's gonna shoot in a second. Every time you post content, okay, and every time you build in public, you start pulling the rubber band back. Intention creates trust. You keep pulling, you keep pulling, and you keep pulling. And you think you're going backwards, right? We started here, right? And I'm pulling back. And the second you're ready to launch, heads up over there, you let go. And it fires, right? That is building in public. You're not taking steps back. You're getting ready to launch forward. So if you think about that, you're not taking steps back. You're not, oh, I'm talking about the failures. That's bad. No, that's good. And then more tension builds trust, and more trust leads to opportunities and to success. And that is essentially the rubber band effect. So if you guys know Olivia from Teachable, obviously Teachable is an amazing sponsor of Creator Economy NYC. They're a perfect example of the rubber band effect, where basically, who's launched a digital product here in the crowd? It could be a PDF, it could be a course. Okay, amazing. A lot of people have launched things. I guarantee you someone in the crowd has launched something, and the first post about that product was launch day. I see a couple head nods, right? Who said yes? A couple yeses, right? Okay, I've launched things that flopped as well. Why do they flop? Because there was no tension on the rubber band. You have to pull back before you let it go. So a great example is when you launch something, you have to document the build. Does your audience even want that thing? If you're not documenting, if you're not looking at the comment section, if you're not looking at the sentiment, like Sifsy as well, shout out to Sifsy, you don't know what they want. Maybe the pricing, you launched it at $1,000 and people wanted it at $500, right? So you have to document the journey and almost lead it up to the pre-sale, so when it launches, people already know that you're running that marathon and they've been backing you the entire time. A couple other examples here. So this is probably one of my favorite slides. Again, I told you I have literally 1,000 pages of build in public content. And I had an incredible conversation with a founder, someone I look up to, a mentor of mine. He sold his company for $50 million. And I asked him that journey. He said the saddest moment of his entire life was the day he sold his company. You would say, why? Didn't he make a ton of money? He made a ton of money. He did not document anything. I want to look back on my life and my career and be proud of all of the moments, but less of the moments with my medal at the finish line and more the moments when I failed and I fell and I misstepped. And there's so many things here, from my dog Cody sitting on my lap with my horrible shrimp posture at my desk for 12 hours a day, to our first dinner that we hosted with marketers, with all our amazing clients, to literally emceeing 2 weeks ago the largest Creator Economy conference in the entire world in Dubai, to a cake I made of the wins and losses, to a helicopter ride that we took after a conference I spoke in Brazil with Teachable. So many amazing moments. That is the content. People ask, how are you always in motion? It's because I always just talk about what I'm doing. You don't have to do anything better or more interesting or higher volume. You're doing it. You have to just talk about it. And there's so many amazing moments here. A couple final examples. The best content that I post, the highest performing, is never the wins, right? We spoke with the DJ Khaled, all I do is win. I don't always win. People who pretend that all they do is win, they just don't talk about the losses. My best content, for instance, every year, I've been starting to make this thing, instead of the 10 biggest wins, 10 biggest losses. And I've had so many losses. I had this genius idea where I said, you know what? I'm an agency, and other agencies, as you guys know, net terms, right? We don't like net terms, right? Boo, right? We don't like net terms. I'm gonna front load creator payments before I get paid by the brand. Genius idea, right? If you guys know anything about finances, I'm taking on a lot of liability and risk. Turns out after tens of thousands of dollars of payments, what happens? The brand goes out of business. And I lost $11,000. Instead of hiding that, I spoke about that. And that is content, and that performs the best. So think about talking about your failures. They're the most relatable. And I had so many people in the comment section saying I was there as well. And creators were like, hey, thank you for supporting creators. Last few examples here. This is Fola. I don't know if you guys follow Fola on LinkedIn. She's an incredible creator. One of the coolest things about her, not only is now she's on our team, but she builds in public as well as a creator, full-time creator and mom. And she posted saying, here are my goals for the year, and here are some dream partners I want to work with. Closed mouths don't get fed. Our team saw that. We work with some of the brands like Notion and Anthropic, and guess what happened? She landed her dream partners. So again, it is not trying to create content. It is documenting what you're doing and building in public. If I can leave you with one final message today, it is document over create. We're not creators. Have such a cool, exciting, crazy life that you just are talking about it and you're just documenting it. You're not sitting there coming up with cool ideas. You don't need to post more. We're all busy. We have lives. You just need to document it. And if you want to build with me, follow along, because building is such a lonely journey and it's way more fun with a community behind you. My name is AJ Eckstein. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for being here.